What's up, guys? Back with another video. Today we are going to be doing the DIY brake light tail light modification. Things that we're going to need for this is obviously the tail light. Now everything's going to be linked in the description below, so you don't have to worry about it. I'll give you the parts, where I got them, tools you need. Anyway, this is the LED brake light, flexible with the sticky back. It's about I don't know, 18 inches long, 2 feet long or so, but you need that. Next thing you'll need is this connector. This is the 3-pin female connector. You get these on Amazon. Pro tip: buy the female to female connector, that way you get 2 of them when you cut them in the middle. Some vendors sell them individually just like this, but if you find a female to female, you'll have 2. You could cut it and you'll have an extra piece. Okay, to connect everything you'll need something like this: solder and seal wire connectors. You could use shrink wrap, you could use electrical tape. It's all up to you. I like to use these on various projects. It keeps everything clean. Last but not least, you need the tools. Now, I think I got this at Harbor Freight. I'm not quite sure. You can find these anywhere. They're pretty cheap too. Electrical tool, whatever's. You only really need is this wire stripper, the electrical tape, and while this didn't come with it, you're gonna need a lighter or some type of heat source, maybe a heat gun or blow dryer. I use this. It's quick and easy for what we need it for. First thing we need to do is we gotta expose some of these wires. Now, in order to do that, see where these numbers are placed right here? This is roughly 10 gauge wire. Now, before I even get started, let me preface this by saying I am not an electrician. I don't have an electrical background per se. This is very basic electrical work. It's low voltage stuff. You should be okay with it, but not at your own risk. If you are uncomfortable with doing this, I think Custom e-bike shop sells these same tail light conversions or brake light conversions. You could buy it from them. Doing it this way will save you about 10 bucks. So it's up to you. I like to do stuff myself, or at least attempt it. So what I'm doing right now is I'm crimping it over here where the 10 is, and it should be cutting it just enough that I can pull it off and get to the wires inside. See that? Gave it a little tug and that sleeve comes right off. You could discard that. And the tail light itself comes with 5 wires. You have your ground, you have your high, your low, and your turn signal lights. The yellow and green are your turn signals. For this project, we're not using those. For this, we are using these 3: black, white, red. Okay, now that we got the turn signal ones out of the way, we're going to expose the wire that's in here. Now, in order to do that, on your tool, at least this is the way I found out works best for me, this last edge, I guess right here, is what I'm going to use. There's a slight gap in there. If you crimp it, not without too much pressure, you should be able to pull the sleeve off and not cut the wire. And let me show you what I'm talking about. Take the wire, put it right in there. Okay, so now I'm gonna just give it a little pressure and then pull, and there you go. The sleeve came off and I've got the exposed wire. Now I'm going to do the same thing to these 2. There you go. Now each individual wire has the little wires exposed. Now we're going to do the same thing to the connector. Okay, first things first, we need this outer sleeve off. Put it where the 10 is, and give it, I don't know, I like to do about an inch or so, maybe inch and a half. It doesn't matter, just enough room to work. So I'm going to go in, give it a little crimp here, and pull. There you go. Had to give that a little bit more oomph. Now this connector has 3 wires, red, white, black. We're going to expose the wires underneath, same way. There you go. All right. Now we got these 3 exposed. Let's bring our light back. Next thing you'll need are connectors. So if you have this set of connectors, I like to use the smaller ones. So you're going to need 3 of these. Okay. Now you could use the bigger ones if you wanted to. It's just going to take a little bit more time, but the small ones work pretty good. Again, you could use shrink wrap. You could use electrical tape. This is just going to be a cleaner install. Now, because these wires are very thin and very small to work with, these little individual fibers are very, very hard to like control. I'm going to do it this way instead of this way because it's just easier to get a connection. Common sense would tell you to match black to black, red to red, white to white, but that's not the case with these. What you're going to have to do is go white to white, red to black, red to black. Don't ask me why, it just is what it is. This is my second taillight that I'm working on, and a buddy of mine who also has been working on these had the same issue. If you're matching colors, it's not going to work. Black to red, white to white, and that's going to work for you. So first thing we're going to do is let's go black to red first. So I'm going to take the wire, pair it together, give it a little twist just so I can get the sleeve over it. Now, as you thread it through, I like to push and twist. That way it's not, these bridges aren't pushing the wires and they're bunching up in there. The next thing you need to do is just heat them up and melt the plastic enough to shrink onto the wires, which will keep the connection. Now when you're using the lighter, use it with caution, obviously, and you want to go back and forth along the length of the connector, not staying in one spot for too long. Alright, give that a little tug. Doesn't feel like anything's coming out. I'll give it one more hit on the edge here, and we're good. Let that cool down for a second, and we'll do the other black to red. Remember guys, just don't keep it in one spot for too long, and that should be good. Last but not least, we got white on white. And that's your connection. Now before we really clean this up right here, we're going to go ahead and test it on the bike. So now that we got all 3 of these wires connected, give it a little tug, nice little test. We want to bunch them, keep everything clean, right? So you can wrap these with electrical tape, but I want it cleaner. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go back to my little kit here, and I'm going to grab one of these bigger boys right here. So I'm going to take all of this, You know what? I'm going to even add these in because they're not being used. And then I am going to feed it all in here. There you go. Feed everything in right there. Now if you wanted to, you could melt it, but I'm not going to, because if I ever want to take it off, I just pull it off. This is keeping everything secure here. Now I can tape it and make it look even cleaner. I'm going to cover this little hole here. I don't think moisture is going to get in because I'm going to be tucking it under the seat, but you never know, so better safe than sorry. And there you go, guys. Oh, maybe a little bit more. We'll give it a little pinch there, and then we'll clean it up by going around. And there you go. This is your new taillight. Now what you want to do is when you connect them, all you got to do is pull off the old taillight. I found it easier to undo the stock taillight from the bracket and then pull this off. It gives you a little bit more room to work. There's an arrow on here and an arrow, I don't know if you guys can see that, and an arrow on the other one. On the male side, just make sure those are lined up and then just push them together. They once these notches are lined up, it should go right in. And I like to put the brake light on the frame. So what you do is you clean it off good, get some alcohol wipes, clean off the frame part where you're going to be mounting this, and then carefully place it where you want it. Now it is pretty sticky. I mean, you can readjust it, but I try to not to do it too much. I just try to do it in one shot. But you should be able to get it. Then I zip tie the ends and boom, you've got yourself new brake light mod. All right. So if you guys enjoyed this, please let me know. Subscribe if you'd like. It'll help out the channel immensely. But that's it. That's all I got, guys. I hope you found some value in this video. Alright, talk to you guys later. Bye-bye.